Yeah, I'ma make this shit hot. Oh, I'ma light this shit up. Yeah, I'ma make this shit hot. Oh, I'ma light this shit up.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to part 3 of What If Deku Got Stronger When Hit. I already explained in the last video, so I'm not going to drag it out. I'm just going to give you a quick recap. Last time we left off, Deku inherited One For All. Realised that it was a big strength boost, like a big strength boost. But he also realised that if he was ever in a losing situation, just bang his head on the wall, which he did against All Might. And then we had the hero versus villains training. Not the USJ will be this episode, where the class, when they split up into 2 teams, one of heroes, one of villains. And the team was Todoroki and Deku versus Bakugo and Ida. Of course, Deku won, after slamming Bakugo's head through the ground and then bouncing up into the final floor where Todoroki had frozen everything. But now we go back to it. You guys comment down below what you want Deku's suit to be. I'm thinking I'm thinking like a Goku, but in Goku black instead. So that's what Deku's costume will be. That's what I want it to be, like Goku's black. So you know how Goku has his gi, the orange and blue one. So instead of being orange and blue, it will be black for the orange and then red for the blue. That's what I'm thinking. But you guys, it's up to you completely, so comment down below what you actually want to see. I don't like that, get straight into this. Roughly about a week has gone by. Deku's trained with One For All, and it went from him being able to use 30% to about 35, maybe 38. But Deku's realised something. When he gets a strength boost, like when he breaks his arm using One For All, it doesn't mean that he can use a higher percentage on One For All, meaning he actually has to train. Because I know you guys were going to complain, Deku doesn't even need to train. So he still has to do the insane training he does in the anime, even more so because how strong he is. But thankfully, remember, like I said, the UA has special like quirks that can make stuff way more and all that, so he still gets a good pump every now and then. But I am going to have him progress a lot faster, as in a week getting 8%, that's not something Deku could do, but it's going to slow down, of course, don't worry. Roughly about this week has gone by, and Deku's introduced himself more to his classmates, explained his quirk, and they all were amazed. And someone he actually got along with quite a bit better than he assumed at first was Kirishima, as they trained together quite often, as well with Bakugo. So them 3 became quite close, Bakugo, Deku and Kirishima, and soon enough Denki joined it. So we still have the Deku squad, but there's a separate squad, Bakugo, Kirishima, Denki and Deku. That's going to be Deku's main squad right now. They train together a lot, as Denki's quirk is insane for Deku, as even though it's not a lot of damage, it's still constant growth, and he can test out his strength on Kirishima's hardening. And this process repeating every single day has strengthened Denki's quirk. He can output a stronger amount of electricity each day, or a larger amount of electricity. He can absorb more electricity, like frying his brain, etc. Kirishima's hardening also gets harder every single day. As the blows get harder, it's like training, like where you get how boxers punch hard stuff, or martial artists punch wooden balls or certain type of boxing bags to train their knuckles to tone it, basically. So doing it every day, his hardening is getting stronger, toning to adapt. Bakugo also trains with his explosions more as Grace and Deku, seeing he's more air mobile, etc. So they're all getting steadily stronger. And finally, they get announced that they're going on a field trip to the USJ. Denki's eyes light up. He's always wanted to go to the USJ. He explains about how they have amazing training courses, real adaptability, fire, lightning, and all that. Hearing this, Deku gets excited, mainly because how much Denki is amping it up. On the bus there, Bakugo, Kirishima, Denki, and Kirishima are playing Uno. And that's when the rest of the class starts talking to them. saying blah blah blah. You seem like you're in a group. You can come join us. Like we should. Like then the Deku squad without Deku in it says, oh, you should hang out with us more. And there's not really a Bakugo squad really, but they're all trying to pressure Deku into hanging out with him. And Deku, it disgusts Deku a bit. Deku isn't the same as in canon. He's more of a badass. And he gets a shiver and he goes, can you stop being some soppy bastards? I don't need to be best friends with you. I have friends and I'm happy with them. This catches them off guard, and Yuraka gets a small hatred for Bakugo. She has a massive crush on Deku. But it seems like... no, I'm not making this a gay ship, don't worry. Him and Bakugo are just childhood best friends. I have a ship set in mind, it's my favourite ship. Actually, my favourite ship is Deku versus Mina. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why, it's just always... I always like the idea of it. But the ship for this one is gonna be one that you guys always hate, but I like making it because it just works so well. But after getting told they should shut up, even Froppy agrees and Yuraka shuts their mouth. They start talking about who would be the most likely to become a pro. Everyone says, if we're being honest, the one with the most flashy quirks is Bakugo and Todoroki, maybe even Kirishima and Denki. But if it comes to being the pro, they all saw the news that, oh, Deku was so strong. They would say Deku's most likely going to be the next pro hero. Even then, most likely to be the #1. When they say this, Bakugo tries to chime in saying, no, but they arrive just in time, before they get a lecture. And as such, they get off. They begin their training slightly after 13 explains it. They get there like 5 minutes early, by the way. So they do get to start their training. Deku's just doing some resistance training. He's getting slight injuries, but they're healing quick, and he's also getting slightly bit stronger each time. That's when Kirishima says, wow, this place is so realistic, they even have model villains. Hearing this, Aizawa jumps into action as he says, those aren't model villains, those are real, everyone get back. Aizawa rushes in, but Deku rushes in ahead of him. And one of the villains that had guns for fingers, Deku decks him in the face, knocking him out. Shiraka seeing this is caught off guard. That brat's strong. He's the one Master told us about. That apparently next All Might, we need to deal with him now before he becomes a serious problem. Deku plows through about 20% of the villains that Aizawa was against, until Aizawa says, go help your classmates. Now with 20% less people to fight, Aizawa has a way easier time. He takes out most of the villains. But we know what happens next. And if you can hear my mum in the background, I am sorry. Yeah, you can. And I fixed it, I had to shut the door, guys, it's fine. Deku rushes over to his classmates and he sees Froppy getting attacked by water villains. He dives down just as one was about to bite a leg off. He dives down and smacks him in the head. This actually kills the villain. Deku seeing this, he isn't really phased. He thought he was holding back a bit more, but he just thinks, sorry, out of my training. The same thing that happened in canon, with Deku flicking the water. He uses 1 for all for this, but only 20%, and it has the same effect. So remember, on 1 for all in this one is going to be a multiplier to Deku's normal strength, because I'm trying to find a way to make 1 for all useful, because with all my what ifs, I sort of forget about it. So this one is just going to multiply the strength he has, so it's still insanely useful. It's like Kaioken for Goku. The stronger his base form is, the stronger multiplication his transformations give him. But as such, he deals with them easily, rescuing them, and he goes around and does it for the rest of his classmates, every single one of them. Except for the ones that weren't struggling. He watched the fight a bit, and as soon as they rushed over to help Aizawa, but that's when he sees it. Aizawa's arm had been decayed, but Aizawa didn't call for help like Deku told him to. But he was handling it himself pretty well until Deku sees it. A weird big black monster sort of figure appears out of nowhere and slams Aizawa into the wall. Deku, seeing that Aizawa won't be enough to handle this, he sprints over just as what we know as the Nomi was about to slam Aizawa's face, killing him. Deku comes in with a massive swing kick, hitting the Nomi's face and then flying away. Shiraku says, you damn brat, I thought you would have died. Them stupid villains good for nothing, we pay him for what? Kurogiri appears, but Deku knows this ain't a time. He activates his 1 for all to 40% in his arm, and swings at Kurogiri's chest piece. He absolutely destroys the chest piece, and Kurogiri just disappears into the atmosphere. Shiraku thinks, he nearly killed Kurogiri. Lucky we set up his second body at home. I'm making this up. We have to reform Kurogiri's body now. His second one's at home, his backup. He's going to be out of commission for a minimum of 20-30 minutes. Hopefully Master will repair him because I need a way out. Nomi comes up screaming at Deku. Deku thought he destroyed it, but he gets punched. This punch is the hardest punch he's ever been hit. All Might's only ever used 60% max against Deku. This was at least All Might 100%. Deku feels his arm shatter as he gets sent back flying. He winces in pain. He feels his arms heal. Power shoots throughout Deku's body. He activates one for all at 30%, and at a speed that no one can even keep up with. Deku appears in front of Nomu, kneeing him in his face. Shigaraki's confused. I swear his arms are broken. What is this? Now for the next like 10 minutes, it was just back and forth. Punch, then hit. Punch, then get hit. Punch, then get hit. But everyone's noticing it. Deku's injuries are healing. While the Nomu, at first there was no really effect of Deku's hits. They seem to be getting stronger with each punch. Deku pushed himself up to 40% now. No, 48%. And his punch was clearly having an effect on the Nomu. Although the Nomu's regeneration was keeping up, it seemed like every single time he would hit Deku, he came back stronger. Shigaraki not knowing what Deku's quirk was, but the rest of the class did. They realised Deku can win in a short battle. It comes from a battle of attrition. Deku also wins. That is literally the perfect quirk. He can heal quick and then come back stronger. And now, about 20 minutes go past. Kurogiri's body is 80% complete by All for One. So he'll be 8%. I mean, he'll be able to come back soon. But Deku's punches are now actually blowing off the Nomu's body parts. Yes, it's healing. Finally, Ida did leave, and All Might finally shows up. He sees Deku squaring off against the Nomu, and all the heroes who showed up are just in awe. The strength of the punch of that Nomu is insane. But at the same time, that kid, All Might's looking, observing it. He recognises that Nomu is probably an equal match for him. And while Deku's not stronger than it, he's clearly a lot stronger than he was a day ago. How strong did this young man become? How strong can he become? Eventually, Shigaraki screams, "Nomu, end it now!" And the Nomu disappears in a flash. Using up all its strength, it appears behind Deku and it lunges its fist. He impels Deku's stomach, sending his guts flying everywhere. Seeing this, All Might explodes with anger and dives towards Nomu, hitting it in the face hard, sending it flying away. Deku falls to his knees, holding his stomach. Blood spraying out of his mouth. And All Might grabs him in tears. Yeah, Midori, you can't die. Deku's just holding on barely by a breath. He says, die. He said I was going to die. All Might's in pure shock. He sees Deku's injury healing. But he says to All Might, if I pass out, I will stop healing. I will die. You have to keep me awake. Deku's vision starts going blurry. But no, All Might picks him up by his head and starts shaking it about. Deku snaps back into reality. And he says, I don't know, I'm going to heal in time. All Might says, how can we speed it up? Deku says, when I get stronger by getting hurt, my healing factor increases as well. Hearing this, All Might realises what Deku means. With pure pain, All Might's going through pain as well. He grabs Deku's arm and he shatters it. Deku screams in pain. So he wasn't going to pass out because of pain. He was passing out from blood loss. Deku's used to pain by now. All Might sees it. Deku's arms heals and his injury heals quicker. His stomach is starting to patch up. Still, if he falls unconscious, he'll die. All Might continuously does it for both his arms. The onlookers going on are in distraught, complete. They're disgusted, not by what All Might's done. They understand that. They could hear the conversation at least. All Might had to do this. But they can only imagine what that brat's going through. Bakugo, knowing that he has to help, he rushes over as well. He apologises to Deku. He puts an explosion up. He heats his hand up at least, and he places it on Deku's legs. His legs are getting repeatedly burned and healing. This causes it to speed up more and more. Then Kirishima and Denki go over. Denki starts shocking Deku. Kirishima helping All Might. It's fast now. He's hoping to break his other bones. Deku's just screaming in pure agony, but eventually his stomach is patched up completely. And he's never felt this alive. Remember, jumping up and breaking his arm once gave Deku at least a 10 times power boost. This has happened a minimum 50 times for both arms. His legs being repeatedly burnt and broken, being constantly electrocuted to the point where Deku went stupid like twice. Denki went stupid like twice. He stands up, the Nomu who's screaming now. Rushes towards Deku. Kurogiri appears just in time to get Shigaraki ready to go. Deku dodges one of the punch and throws a full power punch at 40%. 40%. He hits the Nomu, sending it flying upwards, at the same time completely obliterating the body. The roof of the USJ gets completely destroyed offwards. All Might says that punch, that would be me at like 300 if I went to 300%, if that was even possible. What is this? The strength that Deku has right now, like I said, it would be Prime All Might. It would be All Might at 100% times by 3. Pushing past his limits. That final punch to All Might through to beat the Nomu. Imagine that, but way stronger. Deku is a different breed right now. And as he's looking around, he's got so strong, his body's actually changing, it's adapting. His vision's clearer. His hearing's better. Something's happening to his body. It's shutting down and turning back on. It's like it's getting restarted over and over and over again. He just doesn't know what's happening. And he falls backwards unconscious. He wakes up in hospital a week later after being in a coma for a week. His mum is next to him. Deku can see the bags under her eyes. He feels bad. His slight movements wake his mum up and she bursts out in tears, hugging him. My Izuku, you're awake. Deku hugs his mum back and says, I'm more than awake, mum, I feel better than ever. Deku goes to get up, but to his shock, he moves at insane speed and slams into the wall. Nurses rush in, including All Might, who's been waiting at the hospital in his spare time from being a hero. Deku's stand up, his body's shaking. He wasn't this strong before. Deku's realised something. When his body reaches such a state of strength, he actually evolves. And I mean evolution, like, he gets stronger basically. His body's adapted to being inhuman. As it already was inhuman, but I mean more inhuman. As yes, his strength got multiplied, but that strength wasn't getting spread about the rest of his body. And finally it's happened. Deku's thought about this as it's like a game. Once you get to level 100, you rebirth. And you get back sent to level 1, but you grow quicker. Deku didn't get sent back to level 1. It's just, the strength got distributed more across his body, so his punches wouldn't do as much damage. But his skin is tougher. He's a lot faster. He's still stronger than when he was before the USJ, but he's not as strong as where he blew the punch off the roof. Right now, I'd say he's about 150% of all like All Might went to 150%. That's what Deku's punches will be. But at the same time, that's for all his speed, his hearing, his sight, his smell. Every bodily function has been overpowered. Deku's body feels so light. He feels like he could fly. And he makes a joke about it. That's when it happens. Deku's body flies from the ground, shooting through the roof. The way this is going to work, so you don't get bored of this, it's just going to be repetitive. Once Deku gets such an insane boost in strength, his body goes through this rebirth. His punching strength gets slowed, but his speed and all that gets increased. As it's quite hard for Deku to increase his speed into just his punching strength. But his skin gets tougher. Sight, hearing, all that gets better, and he unlocks a new ability. You guys comment down below what you want the ability to be next time. This time it's going to be flight. And everyone who's watching this is just amazed. Another quirk. But if you did enjoy, guys, make sure you comment down below, share with your friends and family. Peace out. So like, subscribe, join the Discord, check out the thumbnail artist. And other than that, guys, I hope you enjoy. Share with not only your friends, not only your family. If you have family and last support, you share it with them. You see your pets, you pull up my YouTube channel, you show your pets and tell them to subscribe, because you don't know this is a life secret. Pets have a society here. They have a society among themselves where they talk to each other. They talk about their owners. They chat the most shit about you sometimes. If you stepped on your paw, you can guarantee your entire neighbourhood knows that you stepped on your paw. Not your friends pets all know. That's why when you next go around the house, they give you that dirty look for a second. When you don't give them a treat, they know, I can stop waffling. Show it to your pets, show it to your goldfish, they'll remember. My channel's that good, they'll remember, they won't forget after a second. And yeah, other than that, guys, do enjoy for the last time, peace out, bye.